Hi, loves. Welcome to Black on the Assist. My name is Chardonnay T. I am a stylist and creative consultant based in NYC and have had the pleasure of working alongside so many legendary stylists over the past 10 years. The people behind all of your favorite stylists are also their own forces to be reckoned with. And at Black on the Assist, my goal is to highlight and share their stories while also giving them their flowers. With this platform, we will be sharing our experiences as well as mentoring and offering resources to any and everyone, whether you're just getting started or already working in the business. We will be dropping gems on what you should expect from the industry, research tools, networking, kit must-haves, on-set etiquette, and everything in between. I'm super excited to take this incredibly special journey with you guys, and I look forward to building an amazing community. This is Black on the Assist. Guys, I'm so excited to introduce my first guest. Naturally, it had to be my sis, my good sis. I've known her for many years. We've collaborated and worked together for quite some time. Introducing Sheneque Clarke. She's been in the business for over 8+ years, and she's worked with who's who. I'll let her tell you more about that, but I'm super excited to get into the things and give the girl some tips. You have a really inspirational story, so I'm excited for you to share that with our community. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. First question, jumping in. I really want to know more about your journey into becoming a stylist and assistant. Kind of walk me through, where did you start? Who did you assist? Let the girls know your resume a little bit.
Well, when I first started, I was in college and I needed to find an internship.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to come to New York. I was going to college in Texas, and my mom was kind of skeptical about me going, but I had family here. So I was like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to go stay with my grandma.
Okay.
So I came here in 2016 in the summer, and that summer was the hottest summer I have ever experienced. I was beating pavement trying to find someone to let me in to their studio. The amount of studio pop-ups I did, and people were looking at me like, who is this woman?
So wait, I'm sorry. You just randomly went to to find whoever will take me.
Yes.
I'm ready to work. So you
Googled
hit the ground.
I Googled their the address, and I would just pop up because I'm like, no one's answering my emails. I'm just gonna show up.
Guerrilla style.
And they're looking at me like, excuse me? Who are you? Right. And so one day after like beating the pavement, I was so tired, feet hurting, because I was, I got to pull out full outfit. He was on. Yes. I was like, I need
Give
to
him
impress.
A look.
Yeah. I was at the bar, sweating, and the bartender was just like, girl, you had a rough day.
Not you look like you feeling.
No, literally. I was just like, actually, I don't know. Am I good? She mentioned to me that she has a photographer that comes into the bar all the time. And
what made her say that, though? Did you tell her what you were doing for the day?
Story. She was like, oh, well, I have this photographer that always comes in, and he's like a regular. We're like friends. I was like, okay. And she was like, I can text him right now and get you in contact with him because he works with so many stylists. And I was like, perfect. And so I was emailing this photographer like every 2 weeks. I was in his inbox until he finally had like the time. He made time, and we went to like Ludlow House actually. And so we meet, and it puts me in contact with a stylist that he knows. Okay. I meet up with the stylist, and she's really nice woman.
Who was it?
Honestly, don't even remember.
Right. It's like many moons ago. So what came about that? So you reached out to the stylist?
Yes, I reached out to her. Okay. And so I went my first set. It was honestly everything I wanted to be. It was like a dream. Like it was so amazing to be like in that environment. And I mean, it wasn't even a big shoot. It was a very small like feature for I think Vogue.
Stop. It's a very small feature for Vogue. It's crazy. Like that's an amazing first thing to get your feet wet in. That's major.
Yes.
Yeah, especially someone just starting out coming from Houston.
Yeah.
Give yourself your 10s. That's amazing.
And in this industry, once you have a relationship with one person, you guys
and they like you, they're gonna keep going.
They send your name to someone else.
That point is so good, and I think this is important for a lot of people to know. I haven't done outreach for work in gotta be over 8 months. Like it's just this continual thing, like you said. Like once you build that rapport or that relationship and you do a good job, the work just comes to you. I think
it shows.
That's something that's so important that a lot of people don't realize. Relationships move this thing along. It's not necessarily your resume. You're sending it in, beating the ground, pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, cold calling.
Yeah.
It's once you finally hit it
and you show them.
and you show and prove, the floodgates will start
Yeah,
opening
they
up.
respect it. They respect a hard worker.
Yeah, it's a small community, so
Yeah.
your name will get out there for sure.
That led to me working with Alex White.
Okay.
That's where I got like my real internship, where I was there maybe three times out of the week. I was there maybe 4 at first, but then with working with Alex White, I ended up on set with someone else who was also assisting, and they worked at Interview Magazine.
Oh, nice.
And we like vibed, we clicked, and so they were like, "Oh, I can get you an interview at Interview Magazine." I was just like,
no pun
yes,
intended.
right, right. So I get the interview. It's great. You know, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it was for a freelance in the closet.
Okay.
So I was getting paid for that.
Period. So you quickly jumped into
went straight
an assistant coin.
Yes.
Because the girls don't know. Back in the day,
it was hard to get paid.
You wasn't getting paid. It was hard. The dark side of the industry they don't tell you about.
So I cut some days with Alex and split my time between Alex and Interview Magazine. So I was 5 days a week, sometimes weekends.
Okay.
Constantly working. It was like Devil Wears Prada. It was the craziest time of my life. Like, I would have hard days where I'm just like, I just gotta get through it. I just gotta get through it. And at the end of the day, of me walking to the train home, I'm like, you got through it. You showed up.
Period. Wait, I have to ask you, just because you mentioned Devil Wears Prada, did that being like such a huge movie that has influenced all the girlies who work in fashion or want to work in fashion, did that kind of like prepare you for what you thought you were going to expect? Like watching that movie, like, oh God, this is going to be crazy.
Yes, actually. Yeah. They weren't too far off. So that was the start. And then from there, I started working with from there, I worked with Anna Trevelyan, and I will say that
Anna.
Yes,
she's amazing.
She was the start in my relationship where I knew it didn't have to be like Devil Wears Prada. Like it's not that serious. Like we can.
It was a little smoother, a little easier.
It was smoother. It was like, I feel like I was more than just a runner, an assistant. Like,
I love that.
You know, I was a person.
Shout out to Anna.
Yeah, shout out to her.
That's amazing.
The first person that because, you know, obviously I was looking for someone that was like me, that looked like me. First person that I found during that time was Patty Wilson. I was just like, this woman is an icon.
I've worked with Patty, so I love Patty. Shout out to Patty. She's fabulous. She's everything that all of us could aspire to.
Exactly. And that's the first person that I saw where I was like, oh, I want to do this. This is possible. Look at these icons. The first time I worked with her was when I was at Interview, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was just like, I have to get into the room with Judy.
I love that. I want to hear kind of, when was that moment where you felt like you really had that first big break as far as like work? Like, you know, you started as an intern, you were now getting paid assistant, but when did you really feel like you had it in the bag? Like, I'm in this thing, I'm in the fashion industry.
I think I honestly, I think I've had that aha epiphany while I was interning.
Okay.
Because I was deeply in it, and I was on sets where I didn't even imagine I could be on. Like, sets I could have never pictured.
Like, name one?
I was on this Maybelline job. It was it was a commercial. It was Carly Kloss was the main model. It was when I was working with Alex White. And this was actually my first time being on set with them. I've already been like working with them for like maybe a couple of weeks.
You're like, I'm on set now. I'm in
on
it.
set now.
Yes.
So I was excited. I was like, I'm on set. Of course, they sent me out to do runs, but it's fine. And ever since then, I just had so many moments where it spoke to me.
You're in the right place.
Yeah.
You're on the right path.
Like just like small little things.
I guess I want to know what's a typical day like as an assistant? Like what does your day-to-day look like? I think a lot of people have been misinformed or ill-informed about what it is. It's not just planning those fabulous clothes. It's a lot of grunt work.
As soon as you're confirmed, you go straight into doing market.
And what's market, just for the ones who don't know what that means?
Is doing research on the clothing pieces that are out there in the world that pertain to the job that you're doing. They've painted the scene. The way I imagine like styling, it's like you're creating a world Like, you know, like you're just creating this like fantasy world. Like someone is just like, okay, let's tell a story. And the story that they want to tell, you are now going to find, market, and find those pieces that will tell that story very clearly and will fit the model that is telling the story. So first we do market. Marketing varies depending on the job. Marketing is never the same for each job. For like editorial, the marketing is more PR, but for like ads and commercials, the marketing is more in store.
Right.
And so you do the market. So now you're grasping the ideas, you're grasping the pieces, you have to prep. You have to plan out what you need. You have to plan out the things you need before you actually go out there. So after that, we get the pieces. And like for editorial, you're picking up from PRs or having PR appointments. So you go into the PR studios, you pick the pieces, you have to take all of those pieces back to base, wherever your base is. And marketing, this part specifically is sometimes can get really, like what you were saying, where it's like a lot of luggaging. That's when the schlep begins. You are now seeing a clothes in person. Now these clothes have to come back with you. Listen, not everyone has a budget.
Budget for what? Like shipping, courier?
Ubers, taxis, like things like that. The budget is specifically pertain just for the clothes. You handle the logistics. You go foot to ground. Marketing is very important because when you're stepping the pieces, you want to make sure you're getting all the right pieces.
Right.
You have to do your check-in photos. You have to, this is for editorial, you're doing check-in photos because you want to make sure everything gets back to the PR. But you will also do check-in photos for commercial and ad. For editorial, it's the sample size. So the size is just that size. For commercial and ads, the size varies. So you want to make sure you got the specific sizes and the specific measurements for the talent. So you gotta dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and you have to do it very clean because it matters in the end. After that, you are taking all these things, another schlep. So now it's time to shoot it. You gotta take it to the studio. It's shoot day. Pack it first. And maybe sometimes there's a fitting, but not always. So now you're packing everything and you gotta pack it right too as well. Like with shoes, making sure the shoes are packed properly because heels, you don't want that heel to be sticking out the wrong way. Anything will happen. Things can break. Jewelry, make sure each one has their own baggie and packing it and putting it on you, hand carrying it. If you keep yourself organized from the beginning, you will stay organized throughout the job. So now you're on set. You're on set. You have to unpack everything, organize everything, steam everything, make sure all the looks are together, all the pieces are there, make sure the dressing room is okay, the changing room, the models are gonna have everything they need. When you're on set, you're on your feet all the time because you are watching the models do the shoot. You're watching them, making sure the clothes looks good on them while the photos are being taken. And then you're also making sure the bag is where everything is being held. You're making sure that's all clean and put together. And the next look is ready for the next shot. You just gotta take it step by step. You can't try to do everything all at once.
It sounds like a lot of anticipating the needs for what's to come. What will we need next so that we're not scrambling for it.
Right.
And I think having that foresight. Exactly. So now you're up to that. You've anticipated the needs. The shoot is happening. You're monitoring, kind of like you're managing what's happening while they're creating, being that support system in the background to all these legendary big projects. And then how do you resolve that? Like, what's the end point for that? Like, okay, you've done a good shoot, then what?
We pack everything back up. My favorite thing to do with packing while on set is to organize again while I'm there because at this point, the shoot has happened and things get flying, things go everywhere. And while you're shooting, you don't really have time to double check while you're shooting. Now you have everything laid out in front of you. It's to kind of just group things together.
And how are you grouping it? Like by brand, by PR, where you got it from?
Yeah, by brand, by PR. And when we get back to our base and we're unloading things, we know this is there, this is there, this is there. So like your return days are clean. Smooth. You know where everything is. So now it's time to do returns. You've taken everything from the shoot. It's like the last stretch. So now you're either scheduling messengers If you've done like pickups for like the PRs, a lot of times the PRs will do like the return pickup. Now you got like packages sometimes because things can be out of country. And so now you have to do the packaging and take them to FedEx. And for like commercials ads, since it's purchased in store, now you have to double check the clothes, make sure they're okay to go back to the stores that you've got them at.
Now, she's not saying return the clothes that were worn. Talking about the extra bits.
Yeah, returns is very similar to the market day, where it's a bunch of different places you're going to. It's a bunch of schlepping again. Return is a bit easier than marketing because you don't have to be watching everything you pick up. Like once the returns are done, you are done. It's a wrap.
And I'm just curious, just to know, just because all the schlepping involved and how meticulous and so specific your day-to-day is when you're on these sets, what's the most challenging project you've ever been a part of? And how did you overcome those challenges?
I think the most challenging one that I've been on was a story that I did with and when I was at interview. It was Alistair McKim was the stylist for that one, and we were doing like 5 covers. It was like rising stars. The I don't know, interview was really trying to impress Alistair, so they overpulled. And of course we had to pull all of these things. Room, maybe even like this, maybe even bigger than this, just rows and rows and rows of clothes, like so much clothes. Me and my friend at the time who were going to be on set with them, Alistair gets there. He's like, why?
What's happening?
Yeah, I can't even look at this. It was multiple locations. And with all that clothes, multiple locations. So we had to pack it up, pack it down every day. The first location was in studio. The other 2 locations were at Central Park, Harlem. When I say we was on a street with like tents and this amount of clothes, after he saw it the first day, he was just like, don't even pull out half this shit. Yeah. Leave that in the bag. Homeless people will pull up and get into the tent and start shopping, and we're like, this is not a store. We're not selling anything. How much are these shoes? I'm like, the Chanel boots? Girl, put it down. Interview magazine at the time were so like sketchy. They were never late with my payments. I got my payment on time. But the production team was not having it because they were like, y'all owe us some money. Mid-shoot, wrap it up. I say, because the tents were like where we were holding the clothes. So we're like pulling up the tents and the clothes are just exposed on the street. I'm like texting people back from the office. The production is over. They over us. They're packing it up. They said they're leaving. They were on set shooting. They were actually in the park. They had to wire transfer them right in that moment.
How were you navigating what was happening?
I just had to... we were like, dude, we packed the things up. Like, what are we doing? Like, we were just so confused. Like, on set was crazy. The pool was crazy. And then the returns were even crazier. We were returning things for like, it was like 2 weeks before we were done.
Oh, wow. But you got through it.
Yeah, I got through it. Yeah.
So that was the challenge, and that's how you overcame it.
That's how I overcame it. Pushed through.
Just curious, kind of after you've walked us through what that day-to-day looked like, I'm cheeky. I want to know what's like your one must-have kit essential?
Clamps. Gotta have an excessive amount of clamps. I'm like on the train, like, oh, I forgot one.
Yeah, I need to put this in my kit. Yeah.
Last time we worked together, I think I was doing
you stole like at least 6 of my clamps. You owe me 6,
no,
right?
I didn't.
Wait, just because you say clamps, for people who don't know, what are the necessity of clamps? Like, what are their purpose?
It's a quick way to cinch a piece
when it's not tailored.
Right. If it's too big, you take that clamp, if the arms are like
you want to grab the arms and grab the garment.
If you want to give more waist, clamp it in the back. Clamps can do a lot.
Yeah. Well, I do want to ask you though, because you explained so many tasks that are necessary for someone who is assisting. You're anticipating all those things. I'm curious of what's your advice of what it takes to go from a good assistant or just new to a great assistant.
First, I think anticipating is the biggest one.
Yeah.
The anticipation and like being 10 steps ahead, most biggest one. But also keeping a level head. Keeping a level head and just staying grounded, because everything's moving so fast and everyone's kind of all over the place and can get like frantic.
Right.
But if they can come to you and be like, okay, you've brought me back to center.
Mhm.
You reminded me these things, and you've kept me on track. They, like, appreciate you, and they, like, trust you to
Mhm.
keep the ball constantly rolling. I think that's also, like, a really big one to just keep, like, a level head and, like, keep a pace that works for you. Because sometimes people move too fast, and then you will forget things, something will mess up, you will pin something wrong or, like, but if
Mhm.
you keep a pace that's not too slow, but also slow enough where you can get it done properly and then move on to the next task, that also is, like, very important.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so important, and I think
Mhm.
it does separate the good from the greats when they're
Yeah.
able to anticipate that and make sure the lead feels safe and secure, as you
Right.
said, and they know they can trust you and they don't have to worry about the little things where they can
Mhm.
focus on
The
the
most important
actual,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
the work. So
Mhm,
I
and
do want to also kind of dig into a little more of your creative process. Like you're doing market, this is the brief, they've gave you the task, the lead is like, okay, this is what we're doing. Like walk us through what your creative process is when you're preparing market for a shoot or for a client.
well, I like to use younger brands. Like, I sometimes like to go to, like, the designers that are still in school.
Mm,
Like,
a
like
little Parsons, a little
yeah,
Central St.
person
Martin's.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and then just,
Mm-hmm.
like, see the things that they're creating, then I start there, and then I work my way out into a grander scheme.
Mm-hmm.
They have such a fresh mind. They're not, like, watered down by the woes of the world.
Right. Just
I
create
like to
from
start
pure
there.
creation.
Exactly, from pure creation, and that's what I love. I
Mm-hmm.
love out of the box things.
Mm-hmm.
I hate things that are too trendy. It's giving so easy. The story is told, like, you just look and you
Right.
already
Like
know
we're
what it
pulling
is.
that same Chanel Look 5 that
Yeah, that everyone's
everyone
pull, like,
just shot.
it's I
It's in every
yes, I
magazine.
do not
Yeah.
like a easy story. It needs
Yeah.
to be grander than that.
That's your creative process. But where do you draw that inspiration from? I know you're looking at these younger brands, but is there any photographers or any art or are you going to museums? Like, where are you really delving deep? Because I know when you're doing boards, let's say you're at the very beginning of a shoot or a project, what's that look like for you?
I like to look to the past.
Mhm.
I'm a very nostalgic person, and I love the history of fashion, and I think it's always repeating itself. Things are always flowing again. So I really do love, like, the '60s, the '80s,
Mm,
like, history of what fashion has done for us as Black people. Just even with my grandma, like, her most prized moment where she can put her clothes on. She's like, "I put my thing," like, she has nothing left to do. If she is just going to the store, she's like, "This is my moment to shine." And
mhm.
I think I do get inspired a lot by the history, and then I also love anime.
Ugh, you've gotten to put me onto anime.
I love anime, and I think anime it also pertains to the history.
Mm,
They are very big on their history. They're very big on, honoring the past while moving forward in the future.
yeah.
And I love that.
You have to know your references. I
Mhm.
think that's a
You
big
have to know your references.
thing. I remember when I first started, I didn't even know the concept of what a
Mhm.
referential styling was. When I worked
Yeah.
with under Mel Attenberg, he would study all these old photographs and compile these boards and I was like, okay. And then when I watched him start building the actual looks, he would pull like this Saint Laurent shirt that matched what he felt like was the vibe. And that's when I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize that that was even a thing so important. I think it's
Mhm.
something that people when they're first starting, you don't necessarily intuitively know. References
Gotta know
are
your
important.
history.
You gotta know your
Mhm.
history. I love that. I love that. And then how do you stay current with fashion while maintaining your unique style? I know I do want to delve more into your brand, but how do you stay current with fashion while maintaining your own unique style?
Not gonna lie, it's actually really hard.
Mm.
When
How do you say
you're
that?
dressing people and constantly building worlds and building moods and stuff, sometimes you get back to yourself and it's time to put clothes on. You're like, "What?" And you're just so wrapped up into doing it every day for work that when
Mhm.
it comes to do it for yourself, you don't even I'm tired. I don't wanna look at clothes anymore. I'm like, "I gotta build a world for myself." I'm like, "What does that even look like?" It's like
Wow.
identity crisis.
So it's that constant battle of the things you're exposed to on a day-to-day. I mean, your life is
And your
revolving
normal
around clothes,
exactly.
but you want to ultimately identify what your own personal identity
Identity,
is. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
in New York, it's easier to find inspiration just by going to, like, the coffee shop,
Mhm.
you know, because
Street style,
yeah,
people
street
watching.
style, people
Mhm.
watching.
I love that. I do wanna kinda, like, dig deep, something that's, like, on my mind, and I'm curious to hear your perspective, with teamwork. I know we met on a team, and I didn't know you from Adam and Eve. I didn't know
No,
you.
literally.
But what I thought was really fab and really cool, and which has allowed us to maintain a consistent working relationship. We were just so on it. I wanna say we might have been the only 2 Black people on that.
Depending on who refers me to the person, I
Mhm.
know kinda similar of what they're gonna be like,
Mhm.
but I don't completely know until I meet them. I like to observe so I can know what I need to bring, what I need to make up for.
What's
Like
my role
yeah,
here?
what's
How
my
can I know
role?
you?
Exactly. For me, when I'm working with someone new, I observe first, and I kinda ease into it. Not it doesn't always sometimes we don't always get along. Not get along in a way where, like, the girls are fighting. It's just that sometimes we're not always compatible.
Mm.
You know, like, sometimes we don't have the same mentality or this just not compatible.
Yeah, I
Not
might
just
kinda
work.
grow.
We can still get work done, but you're not the girl I would
I wouldn't pick you.
exactly.
That is hilarious. So I guess that even like more like you're working with new people. So I want to know like explaining kind of like exploring that dynamic of like when there's a already built like first assistant or you might be coming in as the first on a team of people that you're a little stronger for then and now you're either leading them or you're under them because there a lot of people may not know there's typically a first assistant, like a lead
Mhm.
assistant who has the most ties with the lead stylist.
Mhm.
Can you kind of like walk us through that for people who don't even know what that even means, like a first assistant as opposed to a second, third, fourth, etc. And then what does that look like? Kind of how do you fill those spaces when you're a first or versus when you're
Yeah.
a second, third, fourth,
Mhm.
whatever?
The first assistant is basically the right hand to the stylist.
Hmm.
So the first assistant has to do the thinking of the stylist as well as the assisting role. And so it's like a trickle down effect where the first assistant is the voice of the stylist for the other assistants.
So you're in charge of the girls if you're the first, but what does that look like if you're joining a team?
I've been on a set where none of us knew each other. We're all working with each other for the first time. And when I tell you the egos became a problem to the point where we had to have a little powwow on the side.
Stop it.
Yes, we had to have a powwow because the girls were really fighting.
Oh my.
Like, on who has more, like, role play because everyone wants to be more in charge, and it's not about being in charge. We're all working together. We're all a team.
Fact.
We all need to cover each other's bases. If someone else is being told to do something and then they tell you to do it, just do it. Put the ego to the side. Just get
Mhm.
it done. And the second assistant is, like, mostly like the right hand to the first. When I was working with Anna, I had a really her first. Me and him became really, really close. We
Mhm.
became like locked in. And he would always say how much I gave him ease, how much I made it easier for him to get through, like, because there would be so many jobs happening at once. We'd be doing multiple jobs, and how I like ground him and make him feel like he can get through it because he would be so stressed. And it made me feel great that I was able to do that for him. It doesn't matter if I'm the one that's speaking to her first. I don't care about that. I just want to make sure that everyone is feeling comfortable and easy to get the job done. So
Right.
the second is like the right hand to the first is right hand to the
The lead.
stylist,
Yeah.
and the third is kind of just monitoring everything, all the nicks and crannies, like
Mhm.
everything's cleaned up, all the pieces are still here, like making sure nothing gets lost in the cracks.
What's one of the most rewarding aspects of your career so far? What has been that like wow moment or
I don't think there's been just one big moment. I think there's been a lot of small moments.
that quantified to that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that have just reassured me throughout the path.
Yeah.
Where I've just had, like, tiny moments where I'm just like, "Oh, this feels right." Like, it just feels like alignment.
I'm curious how being a Black stylist and assistant has impacted your journey in the industry.
Black women wear the blueprint, so I know that I get my respect. The respect is given. I demand it.
Period. As you should.
But at the same time, it's been challenging because I also do have to demand it, and I have noticed a lot of times where I am looked over.
For
And
opportunities.
yes, for
Yeah.
opportunities in a job where I could have done with my eyes closed, you
That
know?
part.
And I've also worked with a lot of other stylists who haven't had to work as hard as I've had to get to where they are. And
To be seen in the space.
yeah, to be seen in the space. They don't have to work as hard as I do, and that can be sometimes a little bit, like,
Daunting.
yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't inspire you to keep going harder when you know that these people don't have to go as hard as you when they're already getting it. So that's been a challenge, but I push forward because
You're gonna show up
yeah, I'm gonna
regardless.
show up regardless.
What's some advice you can give to aspiring Black stylists and assistants specifically?
As a Black woman on set, it's so hard to explain the feeling being a Black woman every day of your life and how people look to you. But they look to you for guidance and for, like, strength, but they still at the same time do not take you seriously. It's the subtle things that they do that try to, like, other you, but then at the same time, they look to you for advice because we're the blueprint. Black women,
Facts.
we're the blueprint. Our style is what creates trends. We are the trend creators.
Speak on it.
Yeah, so they will be like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "That's nice, but what do you think about it?"
I'm just here.
I'm just here.
I'm here.
I'm just here. I support, but I'm just here. There's just, like, so many layers to standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You have to.
When
It's
you're
necessary.
when you're a Black woman on set, you have to stand up for yourself.
There's always that open door to show up and take space. Yeah. When you know you're adding value to whatever team you're on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. I would love to hear, I know we were talking about all these traumatic moments, but I would love to hear from you one of maybe like a memorable client or collaboration that stood out to you.
But I think the first, like, lead styling job that I did that really stood out to me, was, like, so powerful and magical to me, was with, like, Essence magazine. And I just felt so seen and so, like, heard, and it was flowing. Because when you're the assistant, you have the stylist looking to you, but when you're the lead, you have everyone on set looking to you. You have the photographer looking to you, the creative director, and they're asking, "What do you like, what do you think about it?"
Kinda going off of what you just said, what's some changes you would like to see in the fashion industry regarding diversity and representation?
What I would like to see is more inclusion. I would like to see inclusion for, like, us. Like, us doing this now is amazing.
Yeah.
This is what I wanna see more of.
Yeah, that's the point, to give our people
Yeah,
their flowers and to
exactly.
platform.
Like,
We're
more
on we're in
connection.
the field, we're doing the work.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I wanna see more connection with like-minded people, people who look like me. I'm not out here to change the minds of everyone in the world or just even the people in the fashion industry. I've given up on that. But I would like to see people like me
Yeah.
to be more, like, to us to connect more.
Yeah, and we're out there, and I think with the unique thing about this platform, it'll allow us to find each other and to see each other and to know
Right.
you're not alone, you're out there. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here, I'm
You're
here.
here, yeah.
Let's do
I've
it.
been here.
I love that, I love that. I think that's so important to see what you're trying to achieve for sure at the forefront. I wanna know, like, controversial, let's be a little messy. Like, what's a hot take you have about the state of the industry right now?
My hot take is people need to wake up. Wake up. Come to reality.
Okay.
Ego, put it to the side. We're not curing cancer. Humble yourself.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they can do it. And I'm like, can you really? And then you get on set with these people who are like social media, like got so many followers, are so famous, and you actually work with them and you're like,
They don't know what's going on.
yeah. Oh, you got this job off the strength of your post. Got it.
The girls need to clock in.
They need to
The
clock
girls
in.
who are known from social media,
Clock
we need you to
in.
clock in. And then I would love to know, I know we're all things work, but I would love to know, like, what do you do outside of fashion to keep yourself grounded?
I love to go to the park.
The park?
Yes, I love just simple things. My dog, I take him on walks and I take him to the park.
What kind of dog do you have?
A chow chow. I don't have anything specific, but sleeping, going to the park, going on walks, things that do not relate to clothes at all.
Well, I would love you to kind of leave our audience with some words of encouragement. Like, what would you want to leave our viewers with as a point of inspiration?
I would leave the audience with stay true to yourself, because it is, you can tell when someone is doing something that is for them and when they're doing something that's for someone else. Yeah, just make sure you're filling your cup just as much as you're filling everyone else's around you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. This has been the most fabulous first episode that a girl could dream for. I'm really excited to have people know your story because I think you're such a powerhouse. You're so amazing at what you do, what you bring to the table. I'm super grateful to know you. You're amazing in and of yourself. And I'm excited for people to learn your story and hear more about you and be inspired. So thank you guys so much for checking in with us. And I am excited to continue to tell these amazing stories, such as Sheneque was. And I think that we're off to an amazing start. And I think this is going to be an amazing ride. Thank you guys for checking in with Black on the Assist.